Hi there, I am Linda Dellum, and I'm here to tell you a great story about the Lisagors. Mark and Terri both went to UCLA, and being there at the same time with so many people, who would have ever guessed they would meet each other? But they met each other early on, and every Friday when they were out of class together, Mark took her home from the campus, and they got to know each other better and better. One day, as Valentine's is coming, Terri thought, I'm going to buy Mark a great Valentine's card. She found one and she signed it, Dear Mark, I love you, Terri. And when she found herself writing this, she said, this is a revelation. This feels good to me. I think Mark would be a guy who'd let me be me. And knowing Terri, you know that's very important. She is her own person. And she thought about it, and she was out on one of those big wide expanses of lawn at UCLA doing cartwheels up the field and down the field and back and forth, and she had more energy than she'd had for a long time. She was giggly and happy. Mark came up, and time to go, Terri. She said, no, I've got a Valentine for you. She handed the Valentine to Mark, and when he opened it, he smiled and he said, you know, if we could make enough time, I'd marry you. It's really a marriage of Valentines and cartwheels. And together they've really set a high bar for helping nonprofits. And that's what we're all here about today, is helping nonprofits. But they are an incredible couple with an incredible family, and they set the bar really high for all the rest of us volunteering. So I'm so glad to be a part of this. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dick Rush, and I'm privileged to be a friend of Terri and Mark Lisagor. Now, I'm following Linda Dellum, who just put an Academy Award performance before you. Knowing the Lisagors is a great gift to my life and to our lives on a personal level and on a community level. They're not the sorts of people who just sit on a committee. They are actively involved. They show up, they make suggestions, they live the qualities and the values which they espouse. They really are the standard by which people can participate actively in our democracy and make it better for everybody. Thank you, Mark and Terri, for being you, and thank you for letting me be part of your lives.
Hello, my name is Kim Trogio, and I am the Director of Global Dental Relief. I had the pleasure of meeting Mark and Terri Lisagor 17 years ago. I was working in New Orleans on a relief program for victims of the Katrina hurricane, and Mark and Terri came and volunteered for 2 weeks to help families that had been displaced from the Katrina hurricane. Since that time, Mark and Terri joined Global Dental Relief by both leading and participating in more than 49 dental clinics in 7 countries around the world. In those 49 dental clinics, they provided care to more than 35,000 children. These are kids who would not have access to care if it weren't for people like Mark and Terri coming and donating their time and their resources. One of my favorite stories about both Mark and Terri is they don't just come and do work, they actually connect with the local community. They're invested in the goodwill of the children and of the families that we are serving. Terri will single-handedly take children aside and teach them toothbrush instruction on a one-on-one basis. Mark will often stay late after the clinic is closed to make sure the last child gets the care that they need. I can't say enough about the large heart that both Mark and Terri have. Time and again, they selflessly give their resources, their time, their energy, their expertise to help people who are less fortunate than themselves.
Hi, I'm Linda Hampson. I'm the diabetes nurse educator at Livingston Memorial Visiting Nurse Association for 30 plus years. But I think the real reason I'm here is because my daughter Stephanie is Mark's patient number 1. And what's really important to realize here is that the fledgling specialty of pediatric dentistry, including his spaceship office, was really quite unique. But more important is that Stephanie, who's almost 50, has never had a cavity in her whole life. I would like to take this opportunity to let the Lisagors know how grateful I am to be able to call them friends, and more importantly, how humble they have remained since the day we met Mark and Terri dropping our daughters off at Effie Wiracote's Montessori school many, many years ago.
My name is Kimberly, and I am Mark and Terry's daughter. My parents always emphasized the importance of community, both in the sense of nurturing your friendship and your family relationships, and also the greater community. I remember just enjoying the tight friend circle they had, whether it was my mom, who has gotten up and gone running with the same group of girlfriends 6 days a week for 40-something years. They were involved in everything and always, they were everywhere, doing everything all at once, and somehow managed to make the organizations they were involved in and the people they were interacting with feel like they were the most important in the world. And that extended to home as well. My brother and I both went into arts, and we work kind of at the intersection of arts and technology, and we're both very happy there. And I think it came from both of our parents making it clear that we should follow our passions and do what we love, and also figure out a way to pay the rent. So we go to work with a smile on our face, and for that I credit my parents. One of the most important things they taught me is that there is nothing more embarrassing than getting recognized publicly for the good work you do. I'm so sorry, Mom and Dad. I love you. You're doing great.
My name is Adam Lisagor, and for my whole life I've been fortunate enough to know Mark and Terri Lisagor as Mom and Dad, or GT and Poppy. That's what we call them when the kids are around. It might be rare to say this, but my parents were really good parents. Even as much as we maybe resisted some of their parenting, we always had a feeling that they were doing it right, that they cared deeply about raising people in a good way, raising us to be good people and not just good kids. It was always a common thread growing up with them that we take care for our community. And I always remember being aware of that, not in a way that they made it obvious to us. They didn't try to teach us lessons of community, they were just always involved. Their calendar was always full of things that they were doing, either with their community or for their community, involving us on their own. And my sister and I grew up with this sense that that is how to be a citizen. That is how to be a person in this world, is to be helpful in whatever ways you can. It was just so normalized that they were part of these activities that were giving back. I grew up with a mom who was an educator through and through. Every ounce of her being is about helping share knowledge. And it really fires her up when she gets to do that. And my dad, I remember the first time I got to really see him shine in a way that was new for me as a kid. I got to see him in a whole new light when I saw him share and give back to the dental students at his alma mater. These students hang on his every word because he'd amassed this expertise and this whole body of knowledge. For all of these various reasons, I felt, wow, this guy's awesome. Why didn't anybody ever tell me this? I can only hope that as I grow older, that I am able to engage with my community in a fraction of the ways that they were able to engage and still are. This is not in memoriam. A fraction of the ways that they can engage with their communities. That's what I want to take away. It's really an honor to be able to see an event like this, a moment in time, and be able to share that with my kids. and help them understand this is who GT and Poppy are. This is where you come from. They make me incredibly proud.